me say, I say, if we're actually polling 50-50 in Manchester, that means we will win one seat in Manchester and the PNP will win three.
Got it. I heard
It's
that.
kind of like that in I would say if we are polling at 55%, based on how these polls are conducted, in Westmoreland, we are not winning a seat. We have to be polling higher.
Sound. I got that.
Yes. We have to be polling higher. So it's how you analyze the poll. And it takes experience to analyze the poll because we all learn as we go.
True.
Yeah, but Casey, what would you say of both polls that came out, and were they factored into your numbers in any way, your analysis, your projection?
My final forecast, my very final forecast, the amount of seat I lean to JLP. Remember, I said I don't really use their numbers, but out of respect, I do a poll considerate forecast. My final forecast, not the safe seat, not the safe seat, not the strong seats, because I only lost one seat that I indicated that was strong JLP, and that was by 11 votes. The one I lean that I thought were toss-up or battleground, the poll impacted them. That's why I wanted to go before. You remember I wanted to go before the release of the Blue Dot poll?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and you said because of the debate we want to go. Let us go the day after. But otherwise from that, but they were a swing seat. They were marginal. They could have lent anyway. But I lean most of them to the Jamaica Labour Party.
On what basis?
On the basis that the JLP were leading in their parishes by as much as 30%.
Okay.
Because if you trust a poll that says the JLP has 64% of the intended voters in Manchester, and the other 36 is shared between the PNP and the undecided, that put the JLP in a very, 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 very strong decision. Even though I still made the point the same night that if it was 50-50, neighbor, that's 3-1 PNP.
Yes, you did. Tell me something, Casey. Of the two polls, based on their margins of error, which of them would you say here would have gotten it closest?
The thing why I don't trust Dan Anderson poll, he gives us very little information as to how he does things. The Blue Dot poll really go across the parishes and do a parish by parish polls and add the number. And if they have the JLP leading in Westmoreland, only a few points behind in Hanover, and way ahead in Trelawney and Manchester, by they accumulate the points and do the division, their final number could be a bit misleading, because as I said to you the other day, I think they are still learning how to analyze their number. I think
that's the Blue Dot team.
I think Dan Anderson, after he does his poll, I think he look at certain factors and do a bit of forecasting and release the poll how he really wants to release them.
Thank you, Angela.
That's why he doesn't give you the raw number.
But even so, Casey, looking at it from a mathematical standpoint, I heard, okay, the plus or minus 3%, the PNP was up. We are not starting a race from 0. We were starting a race from 49 and 14. And you are
Yes.
3% up on me. It would have been enough to flip about 10 or so seats. It would have been enough on you have a 3% advantage on me. Would have been enough for you to, but it wasn't. 3% would not have been enough to turn 18 seats.
No.
No, it would not have been enough to turn 18 seats. So looking at that, you could have used that
but-
to say if he's saying they're
but-
3% up, they couldn't win the election.
But technically, we're not really coming. It's not really 49-14, based on the how revitalized the People's National Party were. Because remember, I always tell you that it's a very close election. I just still expect JLP to win by a big seat count because of the constituency dynamics. For instance, in a base election where only the base came out, JLP only lost Portland Eastern by just over 100 votes. I expect